supposed to be ironed out from the university, so as your learning process can be so good and be so nice. That is what we are seeking to find from you. Talk to us. There is that option of the number below, or so you can move to our social media platforms. And let me remind you that we are also streaming live on YouTube this moment, so you have no reason to miss whatever we are doing right here, right now. Karibu sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
For the benefit of my viewer, who am I speaking to?
You are speaking to Hiram Chumba Kemei, the Pwani University president.
Right. Pwani University president.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if I may just ask, president of the university, what do you do with that?
Okay. President has a lot of, he has many roles. Generally, my office is general. I have 7 executive members. That is the finance secretary, the secretary general, sports and entertainment captain, gender and welfare, and academic secretary. All these people have their roles according to their office. But for me, I'm their head. Apart from being their head, I have some roles. One of the main roles of the president is I'm in charge of the entire university student welfare. I'm supposed to look for resources from outside to support the finances of the association.
Right.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, you coordinate all those departments.
I coordinate all those departments.
Is it easy?
It's not an easy job. It's a very difficult task. You know, when we were doing the campaigns and looking for these positions, we never knew it could be this tough. But as a leader, we have given ourselves. We are there to serve comrades, whether it is difficult, whether it is being sacrificed, whether it is anything that comes to our way, we are always ready for that.
Right.
Yeah, we are trying our best.
Right. Of course, on my father's left there, we also have Mr. Jacobs. Good to see you. You're good?
Yeah.
So who is Jacob? Let's begin from there.
Okay, so I'm Jacob Ogega. I am the finance secretary of the university. Basically, my work as the finance secretary is to make sure that I overlook on everything to deal with the finances at the university, and more so at the student leadership, because we have our own system whereby we have a PUSA government. The PUSA government is that one university student association.
Right.
So basically my work is to make sure that every finance, every funds that comes inside the PUSA government, I make sure that I look at it and make sure that we protect the government in any way. So I also I'm the chairman of all investments in the university, be it canteens, be it the cyber cafe and everything at the university. So I have to look at it also.
All right. Very true. Welcome to Boss TV. And the fact that you're finance secretary, I need to start with you because finance touches every different areas. Also in our institutions, we do have that. And there has been a lot of concern out from students and the parents who are in the process of learning. This issue about increment of fee is something that has been there, and of course I know it has come to your attention, you as student leaders. In particular, what do you think about it?
About increment, we really condemn that issue because most of the students are right now are struggling, really struggling.
Right.
Because not all parents are able to raise the fees. So when the school decides now to raise the fees for the students, then it becomes another problem. And we as student leaders cannot accept that. We have to do all that we have to do to make sure that such a thing cannot happen.
Right.
Even if it means by sacrificing ourselves to make sure that the students that the students' welfare is being catered for at the best way that it should be catered. Then we have to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Mr. President.
Yes.
Even though you're part of the student leadership in the institution,
Yeah.
I do know that you also pay fee.
Yes.
And this matter of fee increment is something that we are not speaking it for the very first time.
Yeah.
We've had student leaders across the board and the country also, they have had to speak about this. You as the president of Pwani University, how have you addressed this issue?
Okay. This is a big challenge And you know, sometimes it is hard when we go to the administration to explain to the big people like the vice chancellor. They always have their reservations that the government, maybe they did a cut of the budget. Like for instance, this year, our school has been cut, the budget of the school has been cut maybe by 70 million. You see, that's a big problem. But for us, you know, we struggled hard in school. We read very hard to come to the university because we were told the fees, the university fees, is a bit less compared to paying high school. You can afford. Now people have struggled hard. People are from Abra background. Our parents are hustlers, mama bogas, the border borders. They are hustlers. They have tried their best to look for school fees. Then when we get here, the fee is being increased. So to me, I condemn that with the strongest means possible, and I want to assure the comrades that if they try that, even increasing 1 shilling, I, Iram Keme, will go to the streets.
Right.
We are not going to accept that by any means. We are there for comrades, and that is not our problem. If the government can, that's not our problem. We are not the government. We are there to take our learning, and if they want to increase the fee, let them try. We are ready for that.
If at all they want to increase the fee and they bring you guys on board and they give you reasons and factors at which they have considered to increase the fee, are you good with that?
We don't see any reason to increase the fee. We are always right.
There may be solid reasons. Take for instance, times have changed. And they have bills to cater for in the institution. They have to pay lecturers, you see. There's a lot to be done.
So anyway, if they bring us on board, when that time comes, we'll discuss. But for now, we are not ready for any fee increment.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yes.
Finance Secretary, the issue about fee increment, how do you feel it affects the students themselves, particularly looking at those who come from different humble backgrounds?
Thank you. So you see, first of all, even at the moment, as you're speaking, we have got so many students deferring their studies because they are not able to raise the school fees. Now imagine if I'm not able to raise school fees at the moment, and at the moment it is somehow subsidized.
Right.
Now what about when it will be increased? That means that most of the students will drop out of the school because you see, I cannot be able to afford to pay the school fees. I'm coming from far. I've traveled all the way from Transvaal County to come here at the cost to study. It means that I have to add again to pay rent, to pay maybe my upkeep cost and everything. So you see, I'm paying fee, I'm paying my upkeep, I'm paying rent and everything. I cannot be able to manage all of that. So it will be so hard on us, and I cannot accept that.
Very true. Right, ladies and gentlemen, whatever we are discussing this morning here, it's quite of importance, particularly for those who are students at higher institutions in our learning, talking about our different universities that we have in the country. And you will agree with me that this issue of school fees increment, it's quite thorny, and it affects even our parents at home and we, those of which we are learning in this different institution. And that is what we are trying to discuss this morning here together with my guest. I'm speaking to the president of the Pwani University, Mr. Hiram, here close to me, and of course on my father's end there we have Bwana Jacobs, who is the finance secretary. And let me remind you that we would love also to hear from you, share your thoughts. What do you think about our conversation? Do you feel you're satisfied enough with the way our institutions have been run? That of course is what we are discussing this morning here. Share your comments. You've got 3 options. You can move to our social media platforms, particularly Facebook, YouTube as well. You can share your comments there, or you can also use the number below your screen, either on WhatsApp or sending us a text message. Bwana President.
Yes.
Are you satisfied with the way the institution as Pwani University is being run?
Okay, if I am told to rate the percentage, Pwani University, I can give 80%. It's not that bad. Although we have several issues, we have some issues touching the comrades, but I can say it's not that bad because we are doing a lot of consultation, and most of the time they listen to us. When we have issues that affect comrades, they always listen to us.
Right.
I can give credit to the Vice Chancellor. There was a time, previous semester, we wanted to do our exams, and most of the comrades, because we have been trying, we have done a tri-semester, we are requesting the Vice Chancellor to allow us to do the exams without paying school fees. And I can say without doubt that he accepted, and comrades were allowed to do the exams without paying school fees.
Right.
So I can say to our institution, most of the time most of the time we just consult, we just discuss with them, we use diplomacy, and they have been listening to us.
Right.
So we don't have a big problem without the schools being run. Because so far so good, we have not heard about any fee increment. There's no big challenge. Yeah.
In the university itself.
Yeah,
Right. When a finance secretary hapa, there is an issue that is coming here that Mr. President is talking about here. The coordination between the students' leaders and the administration of the institution. How key is that?
Okay, we as the student leaders are there as a bridge. We're only as a bridge. We fill that gap between the students and the administration. We can pass the information from the students to the administration, and the administration also can pass the information to the students to us. So, for me also, I cannot say that the administration is doing it badly. In fact, we are on the right track, because at most of the times, students expect us maybe we go there and start bringing a lot of chaos so that so that our needs can be listened to. But when we go there, we use diplomacy, and whenever we have gone there, we have never failed to get our answer.
Right.
We go there, we talk, and then things are done.
So diplomacy works with you at one university. But of course, we've seen in other universities that student leaders make a lot of noise for their demands and pleas to be heard. Is that the case? That is the route at which we're supposed to be going?
Okay, I'm an historian. And
what do you mean historian?
I'm an historian. I do history. So if you read about the ways, the previous years about the fight of freedom fighters.
Right.
When diplomacy failed, sometimes you apply guerrilla. You see some. I'm just using harsh words to bring a point here. You see, sometimes you go there, you explain, they are not listening. And now if diplomacy has failed, sometimes you apply guerrilla, you just apply some force. And the problem with comrades is, when you decide now to use the force, they overdo it.
Right.
For instance, you can say, let us go for a peaceful demonstration. Some will go there breaking windows, breaking buildings, and it will become a big problem.
Right.
And that's where student leaders are being expelled. Because I'm the leader, and they listen to me. When I tell them, let us go to the streets, they will go to the streets because I've told them. They are listening to me. So instead of going to the streets, some of them may decide to break the windows. They are beating up the outsiders, and it's become a problem. So most of the time, we cannot just wake up today and just decide to go and break windows. It's because we have demanded, they haven't listened to us, and now we decide. Because we have decided we are not going to listen, let us go to the streets.
Right.
And that's why they listen to us.
Very true.
Yeah.
Right. And at the time at which we were in universities, people say like currently now, getting into the university is quite a task. And there has been a lot of concern out from the way comrades live. And I remember there was a time even there was a trending issue concerning how it is difficult for a comrade to go on with his learning compared to even the cadets who are joining police. And it sparked a lot of conversation on how life is difficult in the universities. Is it true that life is so difficult in the universities, and how are you as students leaders looking into a number of things, like let's say for example how people access medical services, how they eat and how they live inside the university?
Yeah, what we are told before we came to the university and what we are seeing are two different things. It's like day and night. Because before we came here, we were told university life there is very soft. You have freedom, you have everything. But let me tell you the truth. Life is so difficult. People are sleeping angry. They go to bed angry.
And they wake up going to class.
Kabisa, they will do that. Let me tell you one thing. The comrades have discovered a certain meal that is neither lunch, nor breakfast, nor supper. Just a meal. I don't know. We are still looking for the name. Maybe one time somebody will be named professor for naming that kind of meal. A meal that is taken around 11. You just wake up around 10. You take a shower. You wait until 11. There you take a meal. That meal will cater for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Life is difficult. life is expensive.
How should it be?
You know, according to what we knew, you just come here, you have a lot of money, the help loan will help you, will sustain you for the whole academic year. But the help loan comes there, you are just given 16,000, you pay rent of maybe 3,500 or 4,000. You buy some 2 clothes or 3, because you also have to wear clothes. After that, after 2 weeks, the help is done, and you are there, you are back to the normal life. And parents are not able to sustain that life. So we are just there, we are surviving. Let me tell you, we are surviving. We are not living, we are just surviving.
You are living. You're not living,
we are surviving.
I like that. Yeah. Jacobs, when we are looking at how it is known out there that university is a place at which you kind of have peace of mind, looking to the fact that you're doing or learning something that you wish to pursue as a career. And there is that mentality of mostly for students who are joining, they feel like it's a place, maybe, so to speak, paradise. You've got all the freedom out there. But listening to whatever Mr. President here is talking about, and also listening to other people who have been in the university saying, do you feel like we are losing the honor at which the universities used to have?
Life in the university at the moment, I cannot say that it's that easy. It's not easy, by the way, it's not easy. As the president just said, it is not easy. It's very difficult. Because, as I said earlier, you have to find food, you have to find rent, you have to find school fees. You have to find everything that keeps you in Kilifi, because you are there in Kilifi.
Right.
And life in Kilifi is not that cheap. It's very expensive. So you find out that most of the students suffer a lot, and it's degrading maybe that because the university, we always say, before we came to the university, we were setting our minds that we're going at a place whereby we know life will be easy, it will be just free life. But now when you arrive at the university, that's when now the reality hits you that things are not they're not easy as they're supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Right. I want to take a short break here, Mr. President, na Bwana Finance. And when we get back, we'll be discussing a little bit concerning this help loan. People are saying it should better be scrapped off. It's not helping at all. Is it true? And if at all it's not true, how should it be even supposed to help the comrades here? Help loan, talking about also the security of the students in this institution, and many more that of course has been happening around our higher institutions. So ladies and gentlemen, allow us here to take a short break here. Meanwhile, keep your comments coming concerning our topic of discussion. We'll be coming up next to discuss more of whatever is happening in our higher institution, and I'll be still speaking to Mr. President here, Himram at the center, together with the Finance Secretary at the very end on my left side, that is Mr. Jacob Wagila. So don't go too far, we'll be coming back in a moment.